Hello guys, hope everyone's doing alright. So I'm finally back to working on some personal work. Obviously it goes without saying that I have worked on this project a little bit off streams. Did that one stream like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But yeah, I finished the freelance recently, kind of had a week off afterwards to make sure I'm kind of, back to being chill, really. Just didn't want to do too much right away. But yeah, so everything's sorted out now. And yeah, quite a lot's going on. So basically, since I stopped streaming, a few things have come to light. One of them is I'm leaving Blue Zoo, going back to NPC, and not in London. I'm actually moving to Montreal. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, so going back to the wonderful world of realistic stuff. So obviously, naturally, that means I need to get back into this personal work that is a bit more realistic than kids' TV. So yeah, but other than that, just kind of getting on with life. I hope everyone else is doing okay. A grand total of 0 viewers right now. I guess not streaming for a while if anyone does that. But yeah, so if anyone's really watching this later, hope you're doing well. But so in terms of walking through the project, my most recent render is this. So I've started blocking out kind of a paint on the face. This is literally just a flat white diffuse shader added on top of the skin with a very basic kind of mask to kind of take out some areas. I will be redoing this mask pretty drastically. But yeah, so but yeah, that's the latest render. Did a little bit of tweaking on the fabric shaders for the collar. So now there's kind of the transparency of this kind of netting is now based on thread width rather than just being a transparency mask. And kind of tweak the subsurface on this to get that feeling a little bit more nice. Other than that, groom. So I figured out why the groom wasn't working at the end of last stream. And I don't know why this is a thing, to be honest. But basically, if you remember the previous stream, or if you've just watched the previous stream or whatever, basically I could see one thing in the viewport, but then when I rendered, the hair would move or just not be there at all. And what I found was happening is on the actual geometry itself, the problem fixes itself when I have Yeti subdivision turned on, and when I go to the actual groom or the actual Yeti node, I have to have sub-D display set to display and render. With that, it renders and displays the exact same way. I don't know why I need mesh subdivision turned on. Honestly makes no sense to me, but apparently I do. Obviously, since I was off stream, I've also kind of thrown some paint. Currently it's just spheres, but we'll replace that with actual meshes at a later date. But yeah, I've thrown some spheres in there, just kind of get a paint effect. And then the eyelashes have some of the hairs that have like a kind of coating of paint on them. But again, I'll be replacing that with actual models at some point. Also did some nostril hair, which is very basic right now, and same with ear hair. Again, incredibly basic at the moment. Generally the grooms are really not looking too good, so we'll have to rework those quite heavily. But that's not today's problem. Today's problem is texturing. So the general workflow I'm going with, if I just get this open, the paint and the skin are completely separate shaders, and they're being merged together in like a layer material. So I'm focused on one, basically just doing one material at a time. So the material currently is just this. We've got this layer RGB, or let me just reselect him and display it. So we've got paint and skin, there we go. So we've got a skin paint matte, let's just rename that. Skin paint material and a skin material. And they're just being layered together by a mask for the paint. And then I have a displacement, which is, for this one, plugged into skin displacement. And this is just the, what's the word I'm looking for right now? That's just the ZBrush material. But I do have another displacement node, which is for the painted skin, and that one contains the ZBrush displacement, which is being masked partially out by the paint, which has its own displacement set up over here. So like you got the ZBrush displacement at the top there, and then the same mask that dictates where the paint goes also kind of mixes the two displacements, just so that when paint is covering a section of skin, you're not seeing skin pores or anything like that, because that wouldn't make any sense for that to be there. And it just allows the paint to feel like a separate layer on top, rather than just being a different colour of skin with less subsurface. But yeah, so this is the latest render. Obviously, without God, I did this just before starting the stream. And the reason it's rendering without clothes is because this collar is the most ridiculously heavy thing I think I've ever done in a personal project. Like it's ludicrously heavy. Just because I'm doing like layered displacement and transparency on top of subsurface, on top of like it just everything that a renderer hates doing, this collar has it. So for these skin renders, are going to be hiding the costume. I'm not going to worry too much about the skin shading or modeling of like the torso. It's all very block out right now, which is why it looks so kind of gross. But you know, I'll block out general skin color today. I'll remove the paint from the face because it's just a material. Hey Cozy, hey Becca. But yeah, so that's the current plan. And clothing I need to retopo at some point, but I need to also pose the character. So yeah, let's get to Mari. So the current setup is incredibly basic. I've got 3 channels right now. I've got the skin color channel, a paint color channel, and a paint mask. And obviously for preview purposes, I'm just running them all into diffuse color, just merging them before. But yeah, so the only actual painting I've done so far is this paint mask, which actually I'm just gonna name that. Paint. Okay. But yeah, so we'll do some more complex kind of paint, mask painting at a later stream. For today's, I'm just going to get back into the actual skin texturing itself, start getting that blocked out, and you know, kind of ignore the paint for a little while. Although I've been reference hunting, so let me just bring this over. So in terms of the skin, I'm going to be looking primarily at this dude. He was one of the main skin refs for sculpting, which I will be getting back to because the sculpt is still in a pretty early state. But for colour as well, I think I'll mimic something like this. I'll make my guy a little bit more pale, and obviously we do need a layer of paint, like not just the thick paint, but also like kind of the tiny little granular level of paint that's sat on the skin and tinting it, even when the actual paint stuff is flaked off. But yeah, so this will be the main kind of colour reference. And in terms of paint, I found some really cool images. So I'm not entirely sure which one I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to go more towards this type of breakup eventually, although it's going to take a while before I'm at the stage of doing this. This is kind of a nice ref for how it's flaking off, which would be really fun to do. I think I'll need to do double mesh to kind of get that like done properly. I think this is primarily photoshopped, to be honest. There's a little bit of stuff going on, and this is just a little bit more kind of reference for kind of how it breaks apart. And it also shows that kind of like little layer of paint that even after the surface is broken off, there's still a little bit that's kind of tinting the skin. Now, this isn't his natural skin color, obviously. Yeah. So I think the main ref is going to be this guy. This is just a really cool image in general, to be honest. But yeah, so I guess we'll just get into skin painting. I'm going to have this on my right screen. Obviously, if anyone wants to see reference at any point, just let me know. I will paint a proper texture for the eyes as well at some point, but not right now. Although I should probably get those into the scene. But yeah, so let's just drag that over. I'm going to zoom in to that guy. Yeah, actually, should I quickly grab the eyes and bring them in? I guess so. We'll bring them in as separate objects. So, oh, the eye isn't actually set up for painting yet, is it? It's just a procedural kind of UV set that it's got at the moment. So let's just grab outliner. It's all going to be overlapping.
I don't know, but let's get out of here.
Yeah, okay. And the UV is going to be completely overlapping for this because it's not set up to be texture painted yet. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's completely overlapping. But it's good enough for me to have like a preview in the scene. So let's just export that. Selection. Let's go to texturing, export, snow. Models, there we go. And then we'll go say RGO. And then clothing, we should probably take that in as well. So let's just grab these guys. bring the stuff on the head for now. I think the stuff on the body, like this is still a high res mesh, so I don't really need that. So let's just take this stuff in. File, export selection, and then let's just say headdress. Cool. And we'll go into the objects. There it is. And just add a new object. And then projects, personal work. Gustave Dore, texturing, models, got the eyes, bring them in. Cool. And we'll quickly do the same for address. Patch cam. You can see the first version of Mario. Okay. I guess we'll leave that alone. What have I missed? Oh. Yeah, that would be the issue. Okay. Just quickly grab that. Massive UVs this guy are. Again, that will be fixed at some point. It's all just kind of proxy at the moment. I just need this guy to actually fit into vague UVs. That's disgusting. Alright, cool. That'll do. So let's just, again, this is only for preview purposes. So let's go, we don't need that. We need that. That's everything. So as we export those, export selection. Cool. And I'll just reopen the scene as well, so I don't need to worry about accidentally having the wrong UVs later. Is Mario locked to how many UV sets you can have? So Mario itself isn't. Mario non-commercial limits you to, I think it's 6 UDIMs. And because that scarf was kind of proxy modeled at the moment, it had tens of UDIMs, maybe even hundreds. So it didn't really do a count. But yeah, so now we can import this, and that should work now. Yeah, there we go. So let's just get into the channels of this guy. Add a default channel. Let's just get the diffuse channel, or yeah, let's just create a cold channel. And yeah, that'll do. The eyes themselves. So let's just see if we can remember how to do this stuff. Shaders. So I need to add a material, don't I? Render shaders, Arnold standard surface. We'll get back to that in a moment. In fact, no, let's do it now. Okay. Node. Edit. Can I rename this? Oh, there it is. Call. Clothing. Okay, and let's create a constant. We need the node properties. Come on. no properties, so we didn't want a constant node, we want a uniform node. There's a color node. Having to like kind of remind myself what all the node names are. Like that. Let's get a little bit in there. Nothing really weird. Diffuse weight. Where's it plugged into there? To quickly throw material on the eyes as well. Okay, let's go to the shaders. Add a material, blend shaders on standard. Diffuse color, let's add it in the right places now. Is there a ramp? UV linear gradient. Is there a... Nah, I'd have to make something basic. Alright, so let's just replace that with a color node. There we go. Every basic eye. There we go. Hey Scott, how you doing, man? Let's get that in there. Cool. Technically that clothing should be a different colour, but okay. Again, we'll be painting actual textures at a later date for the clothing. What we do? Let's go to objects. Let's change that proxy material. Cool, so let's start actually getting some colours on this guy. Let's just go into the node graph. So we're just going to work on the skin for now. Let's just create this. So merge painted skin. Merge painted skin preview. Cool. And we got the skin color. I'll move that over here. In fact, we'll keep that down there. Keep these two together. Come on. Come with me. There we go. And I guess then we can just plug you into here. There we go. So now I've got to figure out how I want to actually go about this, because like many different people paint skin in many different ways. I'm not a texture artist. Like professionally, I do it from time to time, and I will have to do a bit more of it soon. But I'm definitely not going to claim here to have like the best method for any of this. So if anyone is a texture artist, do let me know. But I'm going to do it the way I like to do it, which is kind of building up the skin tone up in layers. So I'm going to start with a base color that's not too far from this. And I tend to base that, in the case of this guy, I'm going to base it around like here, maybe here. And then I'll add a redness layer on top, a blue layer on top of that, and just slowly build up these different tones. And then I'll do a detail layer at the end, which is like all these little things. It ends up with a massive network, but gives me really granular control. Like if later on I want the reds to be way more desaturated rather than repainting stuff, I can just go to a fill node or a color node and just change the tone. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do on this guy. And my monitors are very subtly different. So I think the left screen is the most accurate one. So yeah, so I'll put that here anyway, but I may take them back and forth. So yeah, we'll base skin tone. Cool. And then the way I like to do it is basically I get these general tones. So let's see if we can get this at the no, of course, yeah. Alright. So I'm gonna look for, is there an RGB in here? Analyzer. No. So I'm just gonna try to find a value that is not a million miles away. Needs to be a little bit more green, I think. Not that much more though. Okay, let's just step that value up a tiny bit. I ended up going down. I think that feels okay. It's like the base tone. It may be a little bit too yellow now, actually. Welcome to the wonderful world of how I like texture. It's a little bit too red. I just realised it might be an RGB. Ah, there we go, okay. Well, that's cool. It actually gets more features as you scroll it out. That would have been good to know, Monica. Right, okay, so let's step the saturation up a tiny bit. Value is fine there. Let's step the hue up just a tiny bit. Let's go to 30. That's close enough. Cool. So we've got our base skin tone. Then I'm going to do a base red layer, so let's create a merge. These merge nodes upstream, skin color. Color node. We'll see if we start getting issues later. I can just recreate this stuff. So this is going to be base, base red. I'll probably rename these later too, and create a paint node. So we want this to be, well, we can probably, actually this is quite a simple map, so let's go with 1K, I can always res it later, and this is a raw data map, so let's just go, because this is a mask, so let's just paint, and this is red, And what I can do is just with the soft brush probably, everything's moved around. Slow flow. Yeah, slow flow. Okay, that's the one I'll go with. We're going to have to paint exponential goodness, don't we? Wonderful. Right, okay, so let's just quickly throw down some red tones. So the neck is very red, so let's start with that. Let's just fill in an area for preview's sake. Pick that down. So what I can do now is just go to this color node and set this to be I could just go with generic lit red, but it needs to be a little bit more orange. I'm aware this is too strong right now. That's kind of part of it. it's still a little bit too orange. Let's just let that hue back. There we go. So what I can do is just slowly build up layers of this red. So I now know that if I go all out with it, I will achieve a value like this. But I can feather that in different ways. And I need to, the flow is set to 1. So I'm going to kind of set this stuff back now. So let's start with here. This is a bit too much flow. What's going on there? 1.2. There we go, that's a lot more like it. A bit more airbrushed. Yeah, so it's just... I don't want the size to change too much. Alright, colours. Why is red do something twice? Oh, that's the, okay. So colours alpha, colours. I will step quite a lot of this back. I'm just going to get some general values kind of thrown in there. And I need to rotate my environment light as well. So generally speaking, what I do is I find it a lot easier to paint these values over the top and then slowly step them back from that. Yeah. And, What you'll find at the moment is that the skin feels very kind of flat. Naturally that's going to slowly work its way out anyway, but where that's mostly coming from right now is the fact that there's only one tone to that. A lot of skin's kind of quality comes from the mixes of all the really cool like green, yellow and purple tones. One very common beginning mistake I find is that people just overemphasize the reds, which it will currently look like I'm doing that, but trust me, I'm self-aware in how this looks right now. I might quickly change the lighting to not be my HDR, to do something more camera-based. It's weird though. Why's it so dark? So let's just slowly pull this in. I need to go into unmasking. Oh god, let's see if I remember where this goes. Painting. Masking, there we go. Let's that just stops me from some painting on the silhouettes of things. It's like softly blend stuff in. Let's just like that. So that means that, just checking that little button, just means that the masking is still enabled, but I can't see the mask, which is a good thing because it's camera based. And it'd be really annoying and very kind of distracting. So let's just kind of fill the ears with this extra layer of red. Again, I'll be pulling it back in a moment. Let's just get the tones on there first. Technically, a depth mask would be helpful when I'm making areas like it is too. I can fix that later. Also, just a quick FYI for any beginners. So, what I'm doing right now is hand painting skin. In a shooting film or anything like that, that's fine if you want to do that. Generally speaking, though, in a production environment, so like in an actual studio, if you're going for realism, you'd start with actual data. So you'd start with kind of images to project onto the character. Well, that means you're just getting a photo and pasting it on in a way. We do it in 3D. Okay, so let's start stepping this back a little bit. Okay. Camera's acting really funky. Like, I can't seem to get the pivot to where I want it to be. Naturally, the mouth is going to be full of this red tone. I will be creating a separate layer later, specifically for the lip colour, but this red tone can kind of fit as a basic layer below that. also look like he's got really nice lipstick on for a while. So, also gives me a bit of a better preview for what's going on. So let's get to that UV view. And quickly do that. This view is also really helpful for figuring out how patchy work is. So like here, for example, so that's the UV seams. If I press W, I think, no? Control W? No, cancel. But I need to save. So let's just quickly save. There we go. So what's a tongue? I can't remember where the tongue is in the UVs. Let's go into that perspective. So what I like to do when I can't find something in the UVs is like put something really obvious in there. Like that X. And go to the UVs and look for that X. There it is. So, how do I show the wireframe? Let's see if I can remember to do it. Found that one, just gonna fucking Google it. Let's quickly search Mari wireframe shortcut. So just quickly Googling it. Control M is sort of masking. Okay, that's helpful. I just want to see the wireframe though. Research. Okay, Shift W, that's it. Okay, so if I press Shift W, there we go. So now I can see the UVs at the top. Again, this is proxies all hell, but let's just get something on there. If it's another half that time. Yeah, there it is. There we go. So Shift W again. Yes, this is looking very patchy, but we will see. Oh yeah, I need the inside of mouth as well. So UVs. There we go. They should be a bit bigger in the UV, shouldn't they? They've not had much care taken to them. Okay, I may have to change the size of those UVs at some point. We'll see what the project requires as we go. But if I find myself needing more resolution, I'll stick to that, I guess. Not much I can do to avoid it. So let's get a little bit of redness on the eyelids. The one thing I'm finding as well, I'm probably going to give this guy a little bit too much life for a while. It's as like he'll feel a little bit too healthy. At which point I'll have to go in and really desaturate all these colours and make it kind of horrible to look at. But for now, we'll just kind of keep going as if that's the intention. I guess the yellow tones will help quite a lot with that. And also this lip colour is hilarious. I guess we'll quickly throw some purples in that. Let me just get his neck. And I'll worry about the body on a different day. feel like the flow is also still a little bit too high. Let's set it down to 0.1. So, let's start with the next colour. I think we'll do the kind of... I think the purples around the eyes and on the nose. His nose itself actually needs to be a little bit more gross again. In fact, this green or yellow, yeah, let's get that back there. So, next layer. So I'm just going to create a new merge. Okay, this merge will contain a color. How can we start with warm colours and seem to refine them without doing cold colours? Oh, I've not refined these. This isn't a refined state at all. This is just like general placement, figuring out where things should be in general. There's many more passes of refinement to do. A general way to tell that I'm still in refinement stage, or still in the blockout stage, is if I'm using slow flow. Like if I haven't switched to texture brushes, I'm probably not worrying too much about refinement yet. But yeah, so let's focus on that. And this one will be that kind of sickly yellow colour he's got around his mouth. So it's a shame that he can't do what Maya can do, which is pick colours from another screen. So let's just find that. Let's just back that away just a little bit. Well, that might do. Let's create a new paint. I'll name this in a moment because I'm not entirely sure on the colour I'm doing here. It's been a really long time. I kind of feel like I should do this before the red tone as well. Let's give it a go. So I want to put this around mainly the top of the mouth and the cheek area. Yeah, this should be below the red, I think. Start spacing things out a little bit more. Give yourself more room. There we go. So if I just deactivate you, yeah, it's a little bit too close to the original colour, I think. I'm doing this too early. I need to go to the blue. Let's go to the blue layer. Obviously, I need to repaint that. But that's fine. Get you back in. Beautiful. Right. Okay. So. Yeah, it's this blue layer that people miss in the CG skin more often than not. And what I'm doing right now is a little bit too extreme, but I always like to go a bit too extreme on my colours first, when I'm hand painting at least. Again, in a professional setting it'd work a little bit differently, but the whole point of these personal projects is for me to learn, so that's what I'm going to try and do. Okay, so we need to get more of this on the chin and in the hair areas. Generally find this blue tone is more visible, not visible, but more noticeable in areas where the skin is at its thinnest. So areas like here. Or where it's closest to bone, sorry, I should say, not where it's thinnest. I wonder why the skin is at its thinnest actually, now I think about it. Oh shit. One thing you can do as well, which I like to do, is sometimes just press 1 while looking at my mask so I can see kind of how uneven this texture is. But it gives me a general idea as to, 1, why is that so strong? Is this actually having an effect? But I can like kind of go in and use this as a guide as to where my texture's working best, where it needs more blending. Which in a blockout stage is really helpful in my opinion. Although the blotchiness isn't really an issue, skin is a lot blotchier than, unless you're a supermodel, your skin is kind of quite blotchy, but let's not rely on that as an excuse. Doesn't feel the way I remember it feeling. Did I used to use, was it Super Soft I used to use? Oh, it was Super Soft. Okay. This feels more familiar. I was just remembering the wrong brush. Okay. So let's just quickly preview the actual material. Base. Okay. I have a general skin tone. It's got no details and it's not really balanced, but we have a skin tone. Paint. Blue. Okay. Let's just copy that naming convention. We don't need that one. Yeah, we've only got 2 masks so far. And what we can do at some point is just switch back to that, and we can see, okay, as soon as we cover it in paint, that's how much we can actually see. But I want to kind of make the skin look good, and then add paint on top. Again, it's a personal project, so I'm not too worried about what's time wasting and all that sort of stuff, because I'm well aware this is going to be time wasting regardless of what I do. The moment you're not doing projection is the moment you're wasting time, unless you're going for a certain style. But yeah, so let's get back to this. Maybe a little bit on the ears. to consider at some point what this guy's life was like. He probably spent a lot of time indoors, given that he's a Pierrot. But that said, he's also quite old, so maybe that's just a late life job for him. But I do want to make sure I at least have some consideration for what he used to do. Yeah, this is getting too saturated, so let's back that off. Then we'll have to start getting the kind of splotches in. Well, let's get actual lip colour in there for now. So this is like the first of the quote-unquote detail layers. But I'll get these like that. So these are forming kind of the base skin tone. Everything is built from these, so the core skin tone is set up here. Anything above this is simply darkening, multiplying, or saturating this. Or in the case of the lip colour, because it's so extremely different, I'm just going to paint that. But yeah, so one full fallback of the technique I like to use is when you get to areas like the lips. If I want to do the kind of blue-red thing, it requires me to create multiple layers just for the lips. So this is where really you could just go in and paint it. I'm going to try commit to doing the layer paint thing I'm doing right now. So this will take a little while, I think, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll move back to the eyes. This yellow is going to be kind of interesting. Then we'll get onto like liver spots and all that sort of stuff. I also need to lighten his skin below the hair, or where the hair would be. But yeah, these guys are really interesting graph. It would be good to get some of this stuff in there. And obviously sculpting is going to have a huge effect on how all this looks, and freckles and stuff, but I just need to paint like all this. Lots to do. This is going to take quite a lot of sessions, I think. Let me just quickly, this is interesting. But yeah, so let's get back to this. Put you over there, and while I'm here, I'm just going to save, then close. I'm going to archive D drive project personal work, Gustave Dore, texturing, Mari archives. Let's just create a new archive. Let's get a quick lip colour in there. Off-graphic camera. Every time the off-graphic camera comes on, I just get really uncomfortable. Right, so merge. And this is going to be lip colour. So it's going to be merge, lip, col, A. Lip color. There we go. Okay, and then let's do color. Let's get that color. It definitely needs to be a bit more on that kind of dead side. Value is okay down here. Maybe lower value actually, but higher saturation. Let's see how that holds up. This will probably be a little bit too extreme. That's fine. Paint mode. This one will bump up to, in fact, 1K should still be enough actually. Paint lip col A mask. Can we edit the resolution here? Can't remember if you're actually able to up-res like a paint node. I have not painted anything yet, so I could just quickly. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. There we go. There we go. Still feels a bit wrong. Let me just quickly make sure that's working. I'll create this one at 2K. Come on. The camera's locked. Okay. Is there a camera lock thing somewhere? Oh, there we go. Wow, that's weird. Let's just see if that's any better now. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so let's quickly get that painted in. I'm gonna worry about actual tones and stuff later. Let's just get a general lit line placed. It's definitely too dark. Too dark and too purple. Let's quickly tweak that. Let's need to check a message. Cool. So, yeah, I need to put the name of this guy there. Cool. And let's quickly fix the color of this. So it needs to desaturate. Find value works. I think that's it there.
Are you leaving me?
We're all leaving.
Yeah, definitely is a lot of variety.
Can you feel me when you read it?
Let's just quickly get a little bit more painting in here. Term for those. So go over here. I think I need to go more saturated, but lighter. No, darker. Sorry. Wait. I'll get myself completely fucked on this. And while we're doing all this, let's quickly make a spec layer as well. So we got all this stuff. Let's just go in over there. So we do want, didn't actually move that in the end. So we want a spec roughness pass, which has a bit of variation, but we also want a clear coat layer for wet areas. So I'm going to do a clear coat weight. So let's do merge. Background, no, bottom transparency, plug that into base, and create a paint node, no, create a color node, put that over and create a paint node, and this one can be 4K. And then this is going to have a wetness mask. Paint. Okay, plug you in there. And let's just throw the back to the mask. Oh, in that case, I need to create a. Let's do a constant. Actually, I don't know why. Don't know why I'm doing colors for that. Delete you. This is a data channel. Constant. That's set to 1. This is set to 0. And the reason I'm doing this rather than just painting this directly in is so I can kind of remap the maximum and minimum values with these guys. I know you can use a remap node as well, but I just prefer to have different colors. So let's put that into clear coat weight. So is he in the right place? Of course it's not. So clear coat weight, there we go. And this needs a channel as well, actually. So this one's going to be called clear coat. That'll do. This has as a multiplier, if I remember correctly. So let's just set that to 5. Roughness, we'll keep it there for now. Let's just do a temporary wetness paint. Okay, and view this guy. Okay, so we're not actually seeing spec right now, are we? Let's just quickly check our okay. Yeah, it should be visible. Okay, so we're not actually seeing. There you are. Come on. Why is it not letting me change that? Why is it not letting me change it? There we go. That'll do it. Okay, so that is working. I just need the color itself to be lower. So let's do spec rough. We don't need that in there. I don't know why I put that in. Create another constant. Spec color. Anything inside the mouth needs it. We know that much, but we also need it on you. Now we're just going to have to preview it like this. This side's going to be a little bit trickier, but let's actually see what that looks like. So I think for it to be visible, we have to have it life when something becomes more reflective, it becomes a little bit darker. Or when something becomes glossier, sorry, it becomes darker. So let's just do this awareness layer quickly. So I'm intentionally not reaching a value of 1 on the lips. I will paint this a bit nicer later. We just don't want the lips to feel too subtle. Although what we paint later will have a bigger effect on that. No, what we sculpt later, sorry. Let's just quickly paint all this in here. Into that UV view. Let's just side, I'm just going to kind of do this quickly here. Because the UVs themselves are symmetrical. So we'll use that other side, just a general guide. We'll see if it causes us any issues later. It's gonna need a whack-on soon, I think. It's getting a bit scratchy. doesn't need to be a solid shade of 1, but I'll allow it for now. Okay, that should be it. Okay, so where's the inside of the eyes on these guys? Let's just do that quickly. I'll have to pop back into the UVs in a moment. The inside of the eye should be glowing white. Is that you there? Yeah, it's inside the eye. I wonder what that was. Let's see if it works. Something down. So I guess we should do a test export, right? So export all channels. And I need to make sure, okay, so yours are Coet uses Clico. Oh yeah, let's rename that to Clico mask. Paint call, paint mask, skin call, skin mask. Clico mask, okay. So export all to all channels, and that's the naming that I want. So I'll keep everything default because that should be correct. And then get back to the scene. We are going to have to hide the groom to speed up our renders a bit, and let's also hide the cloth. Let's hide the background curtain while we're at it. Assign our skin material. So that's, there we go. So now I need to delete unused materials or clean the scene soon. But let's, for now, so we got that in there. Do a quick test render. To make sure it's rendering without that. Cool, that's working. So, final edit. And this one will be our skin color. So, skin color, PNG. Why have I got it as PNG? Why's that so small? So let's set that to Udemy. I may have to change the wait, what color space am I in right now? References. I'm in, okay, so I'm not in the latest. Okay, in which case we need to be setting this to utility. So it should be base color and some surface, right? Cool, and so that's our subsurface. Cool. clear coat. Alright, file. This should be texturing, exports, clear coat mask. So we're just going to scroll. So this one's utility raw. That one just goes into the clear coat mask. Coat. Just quickly onto there, make sure it's set up like that. And we'll probably lower the colour for now. Okay, and we also want to give ourselves a better preview. So let's throw that now. And multiply blend. Put you into surface shader. And that could be skin preview. Okay, let's do preview. I'm pretty sure I did a similar thing with the clothing, so let's just check the here's the drape. Cloth preview. Can't remember what that stands for. I'll have to clean up my naming conventions soon. Now, let's just do a alt save. Also, it's going to quickly archive my scene. And while that archives, start. Oh, actually, let's do this thing. There we go. So, start render. Skin color. So that clear coat's coming in a bit strong. And the difference in color between his tongue and his lips is pretty intense. Overall, it's feeling okay though. Like, it doesn't feel completely awful. Oh, I need to put the same material on these guys, right? Oh, are they in the displacement map? If not, they're gonna fucking kill me. Alright, so let's just quickly grab. Let's go into the hyper shade. So we got you. I need to keep you. I got a few things I need to do. Result floor planning. Okay, so where did he go? There he is. I'm fixing things as I go. So you need to go into base color and into some surface color. Okay, and let's go into here. Yeah, so he looks a little bit too alive. Hey Abhishek, how you doing, man? Yeah, he looks way too alive at the moment. Obviously we're going to be throwing paint on top of this, but this gives us a general idea as to what's working and what's not. We can also preview the grooms at a kind of painted state. In fact, let's do that. That will help a little bit. So let's just quickly go into here. Eyebrows, so we need to preview, that's the instance side, so you got that. You don't have anything. Eyelashes, oh that's the instances, that's instance, so we need to preview here. You're fine, and you're fine too. So I can show the grooms. Pass at making that look good, but he looks so happy. He does look a little bit happy, doesn't he? We really need to fix that. He looks too happy. So let me check my the pom-poms. Let me hide those. Yeah, so as I said earlier, his skin feels too young. There's quite a lot of reasons for that. One is there's absolutely zero variation. Like he's a smooth boy, but it's also issues with the lack of kind of aging spots. So basically, like more vascular areas where you can see. Is it capillary veins? Capillary veins. Basically just like veins just below the surface, they pop up a lot more in older people. Things like that will add a touch of age. He also just looks a bit too saturated, a bit too youthful. I need to desaturate him a little bit for that to start working. Need to get that hair color change in there. The ears are too red as well. Let's see what it looks like with the additional context of having clothes. That tends to do quite a lot for a man. I'm also going to grab all of these, put them in their own group. Grab all of these, put those in utility. That's just the way I like to name my things. This just gives a little bit more context. It's alright to check my render settings, so let's just let it start. His chest is so fucked up. Oh man. Yeah, and as I expected, the extra layer of brightness has made him feel way happier. Or like way more saturated. Also, as you can tell, this is adding a lot to the render time. System, okay, so -6, that should be fine. We also now see that the hairnet is too see-through. I need to fix that. I think something's wrong with the shading of this area. It seems to be almost adding light, and I don't think that's balanced light. My hair's this big again. Look. Get that eventually. Okay, let's see if that's. Yeah, there we go. That's all in there now. Okay, so let's remove all the clothing. So again, it's massively slowed down over the times. Hide up pop too. How long have I been streaming for? An hour 40. Okay. So I need to find a more suitable photo for the lip color. I guess we could target this one, right? And like the tone color as well. Because they're the same, so they should remain similar at least. Yeah, it's too young. I think this one should be okay. I look forward to adding all this like vascular stuff in there. It's gonna be cool. Get a bit of this like dead purple around the eyes too. Cool. So let's let's quickly focus on the tongue and inner mouth. We'll rename that lip layer to inner mouth. So I think that's a more accurate name for it. How much of a color mismatch is there? Because this feels more saturated. It's possible I've got a bit of a fuck up with the color spaces too. Okay, either way, it doesn't matter too much. Let's just get into that node graph. Okay, so this is going to be merge. Well, I guess this can be base then, can't it? No, let's just call it mouth. Or inner mouth. Okay, and go to new, paint all this. And we'll preview that. that's all in sync now. Makes it a lot easier to tweak the colors. So let's match this guy. I'll keep that on the same screen so it's even easier to look at. Okay, so you're up here. So definitely higher value. Lower than that though, and higher saturation now. I wish I could figure out the line between saturation and like value. This is an area that I want to work on as an artist. Because I've always focused more on like the volumes and things, which is why like two main, no offense, that's too undersaturated. It's not a one-to-one match. It's closer. We will need to get some color variation on the tongue to that color. That clear coat is way too intense. We'll get back to that too. Okay, so let's try to get a hair color thing going, didn't we? So let's just go straight on some merge.
It is the best instrument of its kind in the world.
So let's just create a merge. Hairline. Oh. Okay, back to the main ref. Generally speaking, for this, what you want to do is pick the base color a little lighter, which means we could just. Okay, let me just. I'm glad it immediately picks the color. Makes this a lot easier. There we go. So now let's just kind of desaturate that a little bit. Kind of value decrease a little bit and create paint. Okay, and that was at 4K, wasn't it? So that's way too high res, but let's just block something out for now. Okay. That's the color it results in. Let's just fix that. And for this one, it should be symmetrical, so let's throw on some symmetry. That's screen based, right? Yeah, there we go. But no. Yeah, maybe I'm joking. Yeah, this is symmetrical enough. Let me just quickly block something out. We'll find his hairline in a moment. Let's just get something in. We can decide how dense his hair is, because if your hair is not very dense, it's going to block less light. So this color change is going to be less noticeable. Okay, so naturally this needs to be reduced quite a lot too. So let's just go into super soft. When I say this needs to be reduced a lot, I mean the sharpness of it. You wouldn't get such a sharp result. It's like a fade.
This some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on. What flavor is this?
Let's get a little bit of the redness stuff in elsewhere in the body too. I don't have any reference images for this one, so I'm going to improvise it. Yeah, we'll improvise it, I think. Okay, so first off, let's start with the blue. Body is fully symmetrical locally, so I'm just going to go in. Do this stuff. Nose on. Beautiful.
I don't need you to tell me how fucking good my coffee is, okay? I'm the one who buys it. I know how good it is. bypass that.
suggest some kind of hint of something going on there. Can you be nice? Is it called curve? Color curve? Contrast. That's what I need. Okay, we need to clamp that. Let's just see if this works. That's a general idea. No, I don't like that. Just bypass it entirely. We can return to add some kind of variation later. Okay, so I'm going to spend another 15 minutes or so working on this. Although we do need to test the new colours, so let's quickly. We want to export the skin color. Arnold. Forcing to regenerate them. Why is this bit so visible? Is it actually that visible? Jesus, it was. Okay, so we definitely need to get the red. general tone. I'm not too worried about it being super accurate yet. Okay, so we'll find. So we'll try and find. So to match this, we need to change this colour quite a lot. There's also a hint of pink here. It's not blending like at all. You know, what the fuck. Yeah, okay, so let's quickly fix that colour. That'll be the last thing we need tonight, I think. It's weird how much darker it's coming out. So that's the hairline. Maybe over here. Maybe a bit more towards here. A little bit more desaturated. Okay, try that. What we're doing. Shit, what we're doing. My brain just gone. What dare you? And whatever this comes out is probably going to be the last render for this stream. I'll go play some guitar or something. Also, with me moving out of Belfast, if anyone watching the stream happens to live in Belfast and want to buy some guitar gear, reach out, because I've got some stuff I need to sell before I move to Canada. Yeah, so he's feeling very young right now. But in the next stream, we'll look into deadening the skin tone a little bit more. We also do need to sculpt quite a lot. He's currently missing all that kind of sculpts. Show the clothing, that might assign a temporary and create our final frame for the night. And yeah, in the next stream we'll continue on skin painting, get something a bit more substantial blocked out. And yeah, slowly starting to get somewhere. It's quite a lot still to do on this guy. The modelling is nowhere near where it needs to be. But yeah, there's so much to do. But we'll get there over time. But yeah, for now, I hope everyone's enjoyed. I say this a lot lately, but I should be back on more regular now. Freelance is done. I've got a few things to sort out for moving to Canada, but not stuff that needs to be worked on 24/7. So I can get back to actually streaming a bit more regular, a couple times a week. But yeah, so we'll see where we get as time goes on. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.